Hey guys, it's JC the Sniper here again, and I've got today a little bit of another philosophy video, and this one's going to be talking about EDC. I know there's a lot of people that, well, everybody does everyday carry. Everybody takes something with them, but you know, there's a lot of people who firmly believe that you should carry a gun with you everywhere, all the time, every day, 90% of the time. I'm one of those people. I firmly believe that every American should be armed, and everyone should carry a gun. And not only guns, but also knives, you know, tactical folders. Those are always good to have on you. You know, carry a couple of those with you, and I think that's a good decision. And, you know, smaller blades. Maybe some just normal EDC blades, Gerber pear frame being one of them. Or, you know, a little utility blade, Gerber EAB, something like that. That's just good for little cutting tasks with a little replaceable razor in it. But I think sometimes people get too focused on things like the gun. You know, in a self-defense situation, obviously the gun is the best tool you can have if it turns to violence. And, you know, a knife comes in a close second if it comes to a conflict, because a knife is probably your next best option if someone else is attacking you. And I think it's definitely good to have all these things with you, and I always have a knife, and I have a gun whenever possible. However, I think sometimes people get too focused on lethal aspects of their everyday carry. And I think it's good to remember that you also need to have a non-lethal thing. I think everyone who carries a gun or who carries a knife for defense, you know, a tactical folder of some sort, and intends to use it on someone should the situation arise, should there be a need for you to have, you know, apply this knife in a tactical situation, defending your life. If you've thought about that and you think, you know what, that's what I want this for, if somebody attacks me, I will wield this knife against them. I think that's a perfectly good decision, and I would do it. But I think you also should carry, if you're going to do that, a non-lethal method of force. And some of these include a Kubotan. You know, this is a homemade one, but which I actually prefer to a lot of the store-bought ones, just because I made it to my own hand. But you know, this is a non-lethal striking device. Could be lethal, but it's less lethal for certain. And this isn't considered to be a weapon in any of our 50 great states here in America. So you can carry this literally anywhere with you. Certainly everywhere you can carry a knife. So if you have a knife, you could have a Kubotan. If you have a gun, you can definitely have a Kubotan. And it's a good non-lethal implement. You know, say some unarmed dude is, you know, trying to start something with you, being a little bit rough, and, you know, kind of maybe implying that he's gonna try to punch you or something like that. You know, maybe wrap your hand around this Kubotan in your pocket. And if he takes a swing at you, you know, try to de-escalate the situation. Try to move away from him. Try to get out of that situation. If you can't, then deck him with a Kubotan, you know? And then if he pulls out a knife, go for your gun. Or if you don't have a gun, go for your own knife. But don't just, oh, you know, if somebody's like, dude, I'm going to hit you in the face, don't immediately just pull out your gun, haul that thing out. Because all of a sudden you've just taken a situation that possibly could have been de-escalated or could have been solved with non-lethal force, and you've turned it into a lethal force confrontation, and you'll have to answer for that in the courts. Another non-lethal implement, collapsible police baton. This is I think this is a 20-inch model, collapsible police baton. That is a very good non-lethal object. Of course, this can definitely be lethal if you apply it correctly. You hit somebody hard in the head with that, and you can kill them. However, it's definitely still less lethal than a gun, and less lethal than a knife. It's not going to cause severe bleeding and, you know, things of that nature. You could break somebody's arm with it, but you're probably not going to kill them unless that's definitely your intention. And this is a good tool to have in a situation where you need to defend yourself. You know, in this situation again where somebody's threatening you, but they're not armed, and you know, you've tried to get away from them but you can't, still they're unarmed, you don't necessarily need to shoot them or stab them. You could pull this out, and if I'm coming after some dude and he pops out a 20-inch baton, you know, I might think better of that decision. I might decide, yeah, this guy may not be the best one to attack. 20-inch baton on him. Even something like a flashlight. This can function as a non-lethal impact device, or a fist load. But, you know, just a little mag light, but it can make a good non-lethal impact device, especially with this tape which I've wrapped on here, just for utility purposes, but it gives me a good grip on this. And I could hit somebody with that just like a kubotan. And it provides a hard striking surface to multiply your force. It's a force multiplier, but non-lethal once again. And if I'm in that situation where an unarmed individual is attacking me or threatening to attack me, I'm probably not going to just pull out a knife immediately, because that's going to escalate the situation. And we want to seek to de-escalate that situation as much as possible. However, the time may come when you have to deploy your tactical folder. You know, the dude pulls out a knife when he comes after you. Well, you know, of course, if I have my gun and a guy pulls out a knife, I'm going to pull my gun out, and I'm probably going to shoot him if he continues to come at me. But if I don't have my gun, then I'll pull my knife out and, you know, do my best with what I've got. But still, you should carry a non-lethal method of force. Also, I'm a student of Justice Administration, and I learn a lot about legal ramifications of things. And one thing that people consider when we see a situation that's self-defense is, you know, how did you really believe that you were under a threat of serious physical harm when you deployed lethal force against that person? You know, when you pulled out that knife or you pulled out that gun and you severely injured or killed that person who was coming after you, did you really have a good reason to believe that they were going to deal you significant injury? And maybe you did. However, if, you know, say there's a man who's larger than you and he could definitely hurt you. You know, he's strongly built, and you know this dude could probably punch me out and probably kill me with his bare hands. And, you know, because of that, you deploy your tactical folder and you stab the guy. Or you deploy your gun and you shoot the guy. People are going to look at that, and especially when if you go to court for that, that lawyer is going to try to tear you apart. He's going to be like, well, how did, you know, the dude didn't have anything on him. You attacked an unarmed man with a knife. Or, you know, you shot an unarmed man who, you know, may not have had any intent of harming you. Yeah, he might have looked threatening, but did you really need to shoot him? And it's going to look much better if you were to say a man comes at you and you pull out your police baton and you crack him with it, and then the police report is filed and it's found that you had a gun on your person and you had a knife on your person, but instead of using one of your lethal methods of force, you pulled out a police baton and used that to stop the man and then called the police. That's just going to reflect really well on you. Even if you find that you do need to move to your gun or your knife, having that police baton is just going to give you another option, or having that kubotan. You're going to have another option that you don't have to go straight to lethal force. You can do something else. And the courts are going to consider that. When you say, you know, they call you to testify and you say, yes, I did shoot the man, but under the situation I had nothing else to do. I had a knife, I had my kubotan or my police baton, and I could have deployed my police baton, but, you know, he pulled a gun on me, or, you know, he was charging me, and I'm pretty sure he was drugged up, and he had serious intent to harm me, and I didn't think I was going to be able to stop him with my police baton. And they're going to be able to see that you went through some thought there, and you had a judgment process that led you to deploy your deadly force. And that's just going to reflect well on you, and maybe it'll save the life of that person attacking you. And you're probably going to do better off and not go to prison. So anyway, JC the Sniper, signing off.